and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon. I am the host of this program, and my co-host is across the table from me right now, and she is my best friend in the world. Her name is Angelica. Angelica, how are you today?
Hello, Shannon. I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm really enjoying sitting across from you while you're wearing the shirt I made you for Christmas.
Which is the greatest shirt that I own and also that I've ever seen.
You'll have to take like a good picture of the whole thing so we
picture.
can put it on Instagram. Yeah, I made her a shirt that's like a collage of pretty boys.
Yeah, Shannon is great at gift giving and she spoils me every time. This particular Christmas, I think, maybe topped it all.
Woo! I've done it.
Because, so she asked me in preparation, she just said, I need you to make me a Pinterest board of all your favorite boys. And so I literally spent hours looking at pictures and like making a Pinterest board of all my favorite boys, which includes like Lay from EXO, as well as Minseok and Kim Jong-un and Chanyeol and Jongdae, all of EXO. And it has Mino, of course, from SHINee, and Key and 2PM and CBX, all my favorites. And she took all of them and made this like incredible color blocked collage that's like collage shirt front and back, just like repeating pattern of these like tiny faces in like yellow and blue and pink and purple. It's so pastel and pretty. It's my favorite.
It really is gorgeous. I don't want to take that much credit for it, but it's really pretty.
You should take
the boys are doing all the work with their faces, I promise.
Yeah. But the color scheme, like the pattern of it is really nice. I actually got complimented today at Vaughn's by like the checkout guy who was bagging my groceries, and like I don't think he knew anything about K-pop, but he was like, hey, I like your shirt. So it's just nice.
It's a good shirt.
Plus, it's funny that they're like, so many of the pictures are them staring directly at the camera. So there's just like hundreds of eyes on you looking out for my shirt. And I
love it.
I love it.
I've really been enjoying it. They make me feel calm and good.
They're here to support you.
Okay. Well, here we are, episode 12. And we are going to be talking about an essential element of K-pop.
Perhaps, I mean, I would argue the most important element of K-pop.
I think it's definitely one of the things that I bring up most often if I am ever asked about K-pop and like why I like it or what the reason that I do any of this. One of the things I often say first is they still dance.
Yes.
Their pop stars still dance.
Yeah. Because for me personally, I believe that you agree with this as well. Like that's my favorite thing about K-pop is like, yes, the people are beautiful and the songs are catchy, but what is truly amazing to me about K-pop is the choreography itself. Like a lot of times, even if I don't really like the song, like if I hear the song first and then I watch the dance, I will like a song just because I like the dance. Like for example, 2PM ADTOY. That song itself I don't love, but because every time objectively, if you just heard the song, it's kind of a silly song.
Sure.
Just because of that, the voice in it, the like robotic voice in it. But every time I watch it, in my head, I picture the dance practice and I can see them like wiggling their butts and like holding the chairs. And I just, I'm into it. So I'll like enjoy a song because of the choreography itself. So that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Choreography.
And I love it. And I feel like the origins of K-pop choreography are very easy to trace in just that, like, that's what everyone was doing in the 90s. Like, the boy bands that we had here in the West were also doing choreographed dance. That was just kind of the standard at the time.
Yeah, I mean, NSYNC was called NSYNC for a reason.
Yeah, because they were dancing.
And even the solo artists, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, I guess, didn't really dance that much.
Dirty was like a choreography.
Well, even like Genie in a Bottle had like a choreograph, had a move, and Come On Over or whatever.
Right.
They had, in all the music videos, they had dance breaks.
It was like a thing that was happening. But I don't know why, but it's lovely that it stayed in K-pop, that didn't fade away. Like it kept being part of it because I love it.
It also is one of the driving factors in its international recognition because certain dances will become like iconic, like the Gangnam Style dance. Like it's a dance that everybody learns.
Great.
And that's something I think that sets the choreography of K-pop apart from something like Britney Spears or NSYNC of back in the day. Is that like these dances, they become like symbolic of the artist and the song, and people learn them.
Yes. So that's a good jumping off point. Let's talk about some dance crazes for a moment. And I feel like there's a distinction to make in what I'm about to talk about, in that I think there are certain dances that come out and they're, like incredible pieces of like difficult choreography. And therein, a fan taking time to learn those kinds of dances is like showing, it's like there's a dedication and a skill involved. And it's like, I can dance this complicated dance, like when Shiny Lucifer came out. Like if you could learn the breakdown of Lucifer, or BTS Dope, like if you can do the footwork in that, like that's complicated dancing, which is definitely an important element of like the fan culture and whatever. But what I'm about to talk about are these little movements that happen in these songs that like even your grandma could do, just like little things that then catch on through the whole pop culture. The example I can relate to my life is when bye, bye, bye. Bye. Like every sixth grader knew how to do at least that move.
Bye, bye, bye part, the like waving goodbye. Or I was going to also bring up the Macarena. I feel like that would be like the best example of a 90s dance craze that swept America, is that like everybody knew how to do the Macarena.
Yeah. So I think one of the like biggest examples of this in K-pop that I think was proof of how much the Hallyu wave was spreading was the Super Junior song Sorry Sorry. In the chorus, there's like you crouch down and you rub your hands together. Sorry, sorry, sorry.
My favorite thing about this is that Shannon is doing it right
now. This
is
such a visual medium.
You can't see it, and I can. And
this episode,
she looks adorable.
This episode's going to be weird because we're talking about dancing and you can't see anything.
But you like crouch and you like rub your hands together in front of you from like left to right.
Sorry, sorry, sorry,
like,
sorry.
Rhythmically.
So when this came out, like then there were suddenly like videos like all over the world of people like doing this dance in subway stations, in classrooms. I don't know if anybody, do you remember this? There was like a prison in, I want to say, the Philippines, where they make the prisoners dance as like, like a group outside activity or whatever. Yeah. They did a full cover of Sorry Sorry that like,
I was just going to bring up the Filipino prison because they definitely have done, I think, several K-pop songs.
But that was like the first one, and it was like,
that's a viral video that like general audiences might be familiar with.
Yeah. So like Sorry Sorry was definitely one of those. In the same year, 2009, Shiny's Ring Ding Dong.
Ring ding dong, ring ding dong, ring ding 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 ding.
That's like it's a big
kind of like
sway.
A surfboard move.
Like, yeah.
And then they like move their knees a lot.
Yeah. So that was one that like even tiny children could do. People loved that. I brought up in, maybe it was 2 episodes ago, the Brown Eyed Girls song Abracadabra. The arrogant dance from that song was a bit of a dance craze.
And one that Psy later called back to in his own choreography. And like, of course, Gangnam Style was a big one. I feel like Psy has had a couple, maybe.
Yeah, because Psy definitely, I feel like because Psy isn't a dancer per se, and I feel like a lot of the joke or the appeal of the choreography that Psy uses is it's to be for everybody. Like you learn this song so you can like do it at a wedding reception and make everybody laugh, or at karaoke or whatever.
I do have to like put an asterisk on that because you and I have learned a Psy song and it's not an easy dance. Like they are exhausting and they are like, they just go and go, and it is work and it is tiring to do, but it is like objectively simple moves.
Yeah, they'll all have at least one move. Like Gangnam Style had the like pony thing, something that everybody can do. Another one from back in the day, Girls' Generation, G. Mm-hmm. G, 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 G. Like, just, these things are just
Shannon did the dance as she sang it, but you can't see it.
I'm sorry.
And she didn't describe it. It's basically just like moving your fist up and down from right to left and then like pointing a handgun when you say G and like going it down.
Yeah.
That didn't bring it to life.
No,
for you either,
I know.
but.
This is weird. It's audio stuff.
We'll just have a list of like clips. Every dance
we'll
that
have clips for absolutely
every
all
dance
of
we
these
mentioned,
things.
we'll have.
Another one that was like a bit of a reason that you can tell that these things are popular is that other K-pop idols learn these dances and like do them on television, or like comedians or whatever. Like, everybody learns this little thing. And there's a Kara song called Mister that was like a Japanese single, but in the video they have like suspenders that they've taken down, and they like do this very like figure eight like butt dance, and it's like la 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 la, and it like everybody was doing it because it was like very it's like catchy.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about variety shows is when they make, or when idols like volunteer to do other groups' dances. My personal favorite is Suho, the leader of EXO, because he loves girl group dances, and so not only will he like do that, like there's one of their really early weekly idol appearances, he does the Sistar leg dance, which we've like brought up in our concepts album when we talked about Sistar, or concepts episode when we talked about Sistar. But he also is a huge Red Velvet fan, so anytime that there's like a music show or an award show or something and the camera cuts to the audience, like Suho's always doing it, like along with them on the side. It's really cute.
There's definitely like, I feel like almost every group has like someone in their group who is learning everyone else's dances. Like, there's always somebody who is just like very, like Boa is like famous for being like so good at picking up choreography that anytime she goes on variety shows, they'll just show her a clip of something of anyone and then she'll do it perfectly.
Amazing.
Key is the same way. Heechul is the same way. There's like a bunch of people who are like prodigies at this stuff.
And then they also, at certain fun shows, like have different idols like perform. Like, what's that dance that like Mino and Suho did with the other boys where they're in the red dresses?
Something.
Yeah. By whom?
Oh God. Girls' Day something.
Yeah.
They
Girls'
did.
Day something.
That's another one because the move is very simple. You put one hand like behind your ear and like one hand kind of on your crotch, and you just like bounce. Something. And it was like, that was a dance
So they got
craze.
like 5 different boys from groups. I think there's an Infinite in there. Definitely Mino from SHINee and Suho from EXO. Like, they put on these like long red wigs and these long red dresses cut up to there and do the dance.
And they did the dance.
So it's really fun. Like, the way that the dance crazes sort of like catch on throughout, not just the fandom, but also the idols themselves.
The idols do them themselves.
Because idols being fans of other idols is one of my favorite things.
Another here, I'll just do a couple more examples from the last couple years of like little moves that caught on. In 2015, Girls' Generation had a song called Lionheart, and there was a very kind of weird move in the chorus where they like squat down and then like shimmy side to side, and everybody was doing that because it was super weird. And then we talked about this in our 10th episode, the Twice song Cheer Up. The thing that like got them famous and like made everyone pay attention to them is there's a part in the song where it's supposed to be shy, shy, shy. Like, oh, you make me so shy. And they put their fists like by their face and go shy, shy, shy. But they say sha, sha, sha.
Oh.
And the whole country thought that was really, really funny because like they knew it was supposed to be shy, and they and it was weird.
Yet another example of bad English in a Korean song.
Yes, which I did want to like come back to that really quickly because I just want to make sure that in that episode I didn't sound like a total asshole. Because like I absolutely 100% like am very forgiving and kind and understanding when people like make English mistakes while speaking to people or typing on the internet.
Of course.
Like,
Learning a
I
language
don't
is
care.
hard.
It's hard, and that's great. But like when a company is spending so much money, it just seems like You wouldn't, but
And this in particular is, well, go ahead.
I was gonna say is we were saying like you'd think they would spend more time, hire better translators, not believe the guy who's like I'm very good at English. But I read an article about how marketing companies who like do international marketing have started to convince people to put bad English on stuff on purpose because it gets attention. Then you go viral for having like a silly thing, so it might be on purpose. Head in her hands. She's so upset.
That's the most infuriating thing I've ever heard. If that's true, I wouldn't be surprised.
I know, right?
But I'd be so upset.
So that could be the case, or it just could be poor proofreading. But the point is, Sha 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 was an example of that. And it like blew this group
That
up.
in particular almost does feel purposeful because the entire country like immediately noticed that they were mispronouncing it. So like, how did every person who worked on that song not
Right?
mention like, hey, by the way, it's Shy, not Shaw?
Yeah, I don't know. And then the one
Damn you, JYP.
the ones from last year that I feel that felt big were Sunmi's song Gashina had like a little gun. You like hold
Gun
a gun
head
next and
bobble.
you just like move your neck real slow. So like anyone can do that. So like that was really popular. And then the Coco Bop
Coco Bop,
challenge.
Yeah.
EXO, there's a move in Coco Bop that's honestly hard to do and weird.
It is. And the funny part about it is, so like the album they released over the summer was called The War, and the lead single off of it was called Coco Bop, which was like a fun, like upbeat summer jam dance tune, like sort of EDM-ish. And the part of it is like, what part of the chorus is this move where they're like moving their arms up and down and like,
but also pelvic thrusting and kind of squatting.
almost
It's
like
a
surfing
little...
sort of like from side to side. It's hard to describe, but what's funny about it is that the Coco Bop challenge came out from it where like people would just like jump out of an aisle, and it's like viral videos of people like jumping
like these
out
kids
of an
do.
idol.
You play a song
Yeah.
and then you dance in the grocery store or wherever you are and you put it on your
But
vine.
the Coco Bop challenge was all of the fans were doing the move incorrectly. And so we brought up, when we talked about companies, we brought up JYP's Party People. It's a television or a variety show that he does. And in the EXO episode, they do the Coco Bop challenge, and because Kai, one of the lead dancers, explains that like you guys are doing it wrong, and like shows the audience like how to do it correctly. So when they make EXO do the Coco Bop challenge themselves, like half of them do it incorrectly the way the challenge is actually done, and half of them do it the way the actual choreography is done, and that's fun.
Yeah, so like K-pop dances are in that case like part of the marketing or the pop culture of it all, that like these little things like stick with people and like get you to remember the song or like participate in the song. But it's not always like just for like silly funds or to get people to like copy it. A lot of times there's like very intense choreographing going on with.
Oh yeah, the choreography can get really crazy. I'm so sad that I can't remember the name of this group. They were a crazy. Maybe you'll remember the name of the group that does like tricks. The one
Speed.
that did. Yeah. There's a group that's not very well known, but they're called Speed. I think if I remember correctly, it's all capital letters. But they have a dance where all of the choreography, it incorporates Heelys, like those shoes that have wheels in the heels. It's so cool. It's so cool. When I saw that, my like jaw dropped. They are also like gymnasts essentially, so they do a ton of acrobatics in their choreography. But they're a group that again like isn't that big, so that's always kind of bittersweet to see like a group working so hard to like not that big of a claim.
Yeah.
But a lot of times the choreography in K-pop, and the thing that got me into K-pop, as we said in our first episode, like the way you sold K-pop to me was like they dance, like all of the dancing. It's so intricate. It's captivating.
Yeah. And I think that what tends to impress me the most is like, you know, we've talked about before, like because of how much time everybody is spending training. Like in our training episode, we talked, you know, these kids are spending day and night like practicing their singing and dancing or whatever. But after they debut, that doesn't stop. Like when it's time for a comeback, then it's time for everyone to spend all day in the dance studio practicing this thing. So a good group, a really good group will be so in sync with even the tiniest things of like the angle that their wrist and their pinky is at. Like, it's really, really incredible.
Especially because a huge part of K-pop choreography is changing the formations when it's like a certain member's time to sing, right? They're the ones that have to be maybe singled out or in the middle. As I was looking through and doing, this was such a fun episode to research for, because I'm the kind of person that, just in general, like K-pop aside, I'm the kind of person that will spend hours on YouTube watching choreography videos, like that dance studio that's here in LA that has the like red wall. I'll watch all of their stuff over and over again. So I love watching people dance because I like wish that I could do it.
Right.
It's like a vicarious, like masochistic tendency of mine to watch people dance better than me. But so I love watching that shit. And as I was watching it, some of the formations are like so crazy. I watched so many 17 videos.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about 17 a lot in this episode. You will see why later. But they have because 17 has 13 members, like almost all K-pop choreography incorporates intricate formations, no matter how many members you have. Like, for example, SHINee's Everybody, like at a certain point, they make a plane with their bodies. And like Onu's like the propeller in the back. And then, but like for a group that has 13 members, you have to do a lot in order to make sure every member can be seen at different points. And 17 has a really cool trend in their choreography of doing like almost pantomime and like making like shapes and stuff out of themselves because they have so many of them.
Yeah.
One good example is there's a music show performance for their song Adore You, which is just spelled with the letter U. One of the times that they did that on stage, they didn't do this every time, but one of the times they start out by one of the so like two of the members are standing like in the corner on the left, and all the other 11 are standing in kind of like a like triangle formation on the right, and one of the members on the left, quote unquote, like throws the other member, like, and the other member like lies flat on the floor, and the others, they fall down like bowling, like he's bowling. So they're like pantomiming with their bodies like bowling pins, and it's really cool. Like they're so in sync, and they're really great at like catching little mistakes or whatever. Like they're such professionals of like sort of changing up the choreography every time they do it in small ways, but like it's so in sync, and the formations are truly nuts.
That's great. Do you have, like, just pure curiosity, like, do you have a favorite or like a handful of favorite choreographies that impress you the most? Like, we can talk about the different ways we feel about different kinds of dances, but like, what is one that impresses the hell out of you? Because I
Just
have
one.
I mean, or a couple if you have a couple.
I feel like I have so many. I think one of my all-time favorites, and I do find it really impressive, is SHINee's Your Number. The choreography for that is amazing, and it also sort of tells a story, because the whole song tells a story of like, oh, it was raining, so I went into a bookstore, and then like our hands touched, whatever. So they kind of, parts of it sort of act out the story that they're telling. I love that one. Let's see. Anything Red Velvet, of course. I've mentioned that before. I feel like I had others on the top of my head, but
Weki Meki, I don't like your girlfriend is my favorite.
Yes, Weki Meki. I don't like your girlfriend.
Because it has a lot of that, like, really, like, making good use of the amount of members that they have. There's, like, a lot of good ripple effects, or, like, one is standing in the middle and she moves her arm like this, and all their heads turn like with her arm, and they do a cool thing where all their arms are out at a different angle, and then they like close like a fan, like cool shit like that. I love when there's like a lot of like intense teamwork happening.
Yeah, G-Friend does that a lot. G-Friend has a ton of good examples of like the ripple effect, that type style, that move in choreography. The ripple effect is why I loved EXO's Electric Kiss so much. So I didn't love the song on its, that's another song I didn't love on its own when I just heard it. And then when I watched the dance practice video, I was like, oh, okay.
I get it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Timeen Move, of course,
Oh,
is
yes.
probably my favorite. Not as far as one that I'm like jealous of, because we know that one.
Yeah.
It's one of my faves. But because the choreography is like kind of more interpretive, like contemporary, not interpretive, but like more sort of modern dance, contemporary dance. It's really sexy. I love that dance.
Okay, well then let's take this opportunity to get into figuring out who are the people who are responsible for all of these signature dances and all of this stuff. What do we know about the K-pop choreographers?
So you actually can find out quite a bit about them because as we've sort of explained in like our companies episode, the company is responsible for pretty much all aspects of the production and promotion of all of this music. And so there are certain choreographers that they don't necessarily, there are some choreographers that are like specifically for a company, but there's also a lot of choreographers that I guess you could say they freelance, like they sort of work for a bunch of different companies, which can cause some trouble when like if, for example, there was like a Twice and a 17 song where the choreographer, the fans demanded that he apologize for the choreography because the choreography of the Twice song that they released was like fans argued too similar to the choreography of a 17 song. And so when you do work for multiple companies and work with multiple groups, you like do have to be conscious of not repeating yourself.
Yeah.
But there's also certain choreographers who have like a very specific style, and so like companies will bring them on for particular songs because they are looking for that style in their choreography.
Like my girl, Leah Kim.
Yes, she's on my list because so I looked up like specific choreographers, but I focused on the ladies, the
Girl
like top
power.
female choreographers, and they are like truly taking things by storm. One of them, her name is Paris Goebel, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. She's from New Zealand, and she works with a lot of Western artists, Rihanna, J-Lo, Justin Bieber.
We've talked about her and her gang before.
Yes, because Paris Goebel choreographed, directed, and also starred in Justin Bieber's Sorry. And so like her dance team, of course, they also did CL's Hello Bitches, which we've brought up. She did Big Bang's Bang Bang Bang, Ring-a-Linga, and Bad Boy, 3 like very big songs for Big Bang. She did Icon's Rhythm Ta, To Anyone Crush, and 4 Minute Crazy. So she has like a harder style, like sort of more like
a lot of like getting down low and
a
like,
lot of like popping and like butt stuff.
Yes.
That came out wrong, but you know what I mean. Then, like Shannon just mentioned, Leah Kim. She's from the 1 Million Dance Studio, which is kind of like those dance videos that I mentioned, like of the studio with the red wall. Well, there's one like that in Korea called 1 Million. And
number 1 million.
Yeah.
I was going to make sure to bring that up eventually in this episode because a lot of K-pop choreographers work at that studio. They have a very active YouTube channel. They don't often dance to K-pop though. You'll see them doing choreography to like current English pop music most of the time. If they're ever doing K-pop, it's 4 songs that they have choreographed, and sometimes the artist themselves like comes to the studio and records
one example of that would be Jay Park. Jay Park works where did I wrote her down? Okay, so her name is Honey J. She's like a very famous like street dancer from Korea, and she has like a dance crew or whatever that's like well known, but she is the lead dancer and choreography for Jay Park, and so like she did All I Want to Do and like Thinking of You, and so for videos or like so for songs like that, they will record the dance with Jay Park in the 1 Million Dance Studio. So that's fun.
But we were talking about Leah. I'm sorry I interrupted.
Oh, yeah,
She's my
no, that's
Instagram.
okay.
I love her Instagram. I feel like I know her. So let's talk about her
So Leah
more.
Kim, she's from 1 Million, the 1 Million Dance Studio. She's one of the lead choreographers there. 1 Million is also like, that's where Casper is.
My boy Casper. I was going to talk about him eventually
I'm going to
too.
let you talk about Casper because like I said, I only looked up the ladies, but Casper's a very famous K-pop
dancer.
SM dancer and choreographer. And he, 1 Million is the dance studio where he learned to dance. So like 1 Million is not just where these choreographers teach, it's also where they like take class themselves. Anyway, so Leah Kim, she's done a lot of like famous dances. She has sort of like a sexy, like feminine style to her dance. So her biggest hits are all female groups. She did IOI's song Very, Very, Very. She choreographed TT and Like Ooh Ah for Twice. She, we talked about Sunmi's Gashina. Did she do Gashina? She did Gashina. She also did Full Moon and 24 Hours, which are all Sunmi songs. And she choreographed for Boa the song Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's a big name, very well respected, incredible dancer. One of my favorites, though, is her name is Rino Nakasone, and she's a Japanese dancer. She works mostly with SM. She used to actually be a Pussycat doll, and she was on America's Best Dance Crew season 3 with her crew, Beat Freaks, and they came in second. So if you were a fan of America's Best Dance Crew, which I was, you may remember her from there. Or if you're a really big Pussycat Doll fan, which I wasn't, but she was there. Anyway, so she's Japanese. She works mostly with SM artists. She's done SHINee, Girls' Generation, Super Junior, Boa, Kangta.
I think it's Kangta.
Kangta, FX, TVXQ. She choreographed Rookie for Red Velvet. And she has to, I guess, be my favorite K-pop choreographer because of everything that she's done for SHINee. She did Replay, Love Like Oxygen, Juliet. She did Your Number, which I just mentioned is one of my favorite choreographies of all time. So she's my favorite. She's done like all my favorites. She also did Genie and I Got a Boy for Girls' Generation.
Prolific. I love it.
Another very well-known Japanese dancer and choreographer, her name is Koharu Sugawara. I'm
don't
sorry,
know
I'm
anything about Japanese. I can't
gonna
help
butcher
you
that one.
here.
I apologize, but Koharu Sugawara, I believe, is how you pronounce that. She is so. Another dance I mentioned is Taemin's Move. So she helped choreograph that, and she also she's in one of his versions of that, one of his music videos. Just her and Tim do the dance in the rain. It's incredible. She also helped him choreograph Sayonara Hituri, which was one of his like very epic, over dramatic Japanese songs. It looks like something out of Final Fantasy. The music video is so absurd, but the dance is cool. Anyway, she also choreographed for like To Anyone and Girls' Generation again. And the last one that I wanted to mention is a woman named Bae Yoon Jung. She is a judge and a teacher for the reality shows Produce 101 and Hit the Stage.
Okay.
So Hit the Stage is a cool show. It's kind of like, so Produce 101 we've mentioned a couple times. That's where we got things like groups like IOI and 101. Where they take like 101 trainees and put a group together for a short period of time. Anyway, Hit the Stage is kind of like a Dancing with the Stars sort of thing, where K-pop idols will like come on to this show, Hit the Stage, and they will get paired up with a choreographer, and they'll like practice, learn, and then perform a routine. Like Taemin was on it. I believe it's a competition. But anyway, so she's one of the judges and also a dance teacher for Produce 101 and Hit the Stage. She did Abracadabra for Brown Eyed Girls, and she did Up and Down for EXID.
Okay,
so
those
she's
are both
created like dance crazes.
Those are, yeah.
She also did, you mentioned Mr. She did Mr.
Okay.
And she's done a whole bunch for like Girls' Day and Tiara.
Yeah. That sounds like a lady who knows how to.
Yeah. So I was really pleased to see in like a very much male dominated field that like the choreographers that created some of these iconic dances, or a lot of these iconic dances, were ladies.
That's
so
great.
Congrats, ladies. Good job. Keep
That's
up
so
the great
awesome.
moves.
Well, I'll talk about one boy, just one. His name is Casper with a K. His real name is Kim Tae-woo. But he's been known as the extra member of like all the SM groups because he has been a choreographer at SM for a very, very, very long time.
But he's about the same age as like SHINee.
He's
and
25, I think.
He just didn't debut. He like wasn't.
He just has always been he's just always been a dancer. he might be 100% tone deaf, but he's a very good dancer. He choreographed things like Call Me Baby and Coco Bop. He's done all of my boy Lay's solo albums, like What You Need. And Lose Control and stuff like that.
Didn't he also do Why for Taeyeon?
Yes, he is prominently featured in the music video Why by Taeyeon. I love they do like a cute like couple dance in the middle.
I love that dance.
He's real handsome and he just is in the background of like everything all the time. So that's why people like call him like the extra member, because it's like he's a part of like all the SM groups because he's always around. And he teaches at 1 million.
Yeah, and also like was taught there.
Yes.
But I like when, like we mentioned Casper and also Honey J, like some of these dancers or some of these choreographers like are featured in the music video, which I always find fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
That
like
they get to like be a part of it.
We're such SM stans that I feel like I recognize SM dancers, but like I know like if I was following other companies, I'm sure that those fans also like know their dancers. Like Hyuna always uses the same boys. Like I always know them, but I don't know them.
Yeah. You recognize their faces.
Yeah.
I would say for sure that even though like we mentioned, some of these choreographers work specifically with one company, some of them sort of jump around, work with everyone, but each company has a very specific style of dance. I think it's very easy to recognize like, oh, this is a JYP choreographer. Like if you were just watching a group of people, like a fans doing like a dance cover, you could easily identify if it was a JYP, YG, or SM choreography. I bet that you could, because their styles are pretty different.
Yeah, totally. So this choreography game, though, sometimes they don't even need to hire choreographers because there are idols who are doing their own choreography, which I think is crazy.
Yeah.
With all the things that they already have to do. But it's also like really neat. I know you brought up 17 earlier. That's a group that I know for sure their dance captain Hoshi does their choreography, yes?
Not all of it. I'm going to talk about Hoshi
Okay.
a lot, and I'm going to get into him in a minute. But yes, put a pin in that.
Put a pin in it. Okay.
So there are a lot of idols that get recognition for their choreography, which is really crazy. Like you said, all the other things that they're doing. I'm just going to name a couple.
Go ahead.
So there's a boy group that kind of recently debuted named Astro. One of their members, Rocky, he's assisted in the choreography of a lot of their lead singles, and then he choreographed all of their song Firework. There's a member of the group Icon named B.I., who does a lot of their choreography. A member of Winner named Songhoon, and a member named N from the group VIX. And also, I was surprised to learn Moonbyul from Mamamoo. She does a lot of the choreography. Their choreography isn't like super intense, but it is intricate in small ways, I think.
Yeah. I feel like it was only surprising because I feel like the more that I learn about Moonbyul, I realize how incredibly different she is from the stage persona she's been given. Like, she's the rapper of the group, but she is an incredible singer and was just essentially told, like, well, the other three sing just enough better than you that you have to be the rapper now.
Yeah.
And she's usually the one in pants. Like, I don't know if that's her choice or not.
She has sort of a more
but
like masculine image.
They definitely give her a more masculine image all of the time. And but the idea that she is like choreographed, like it just seems the opposite of like, because usually her moves are just like doing rap hands. So like it seems
Shannon's
surprising.
doing rap hands.
I'm doing that too. So it seems surprising that she also is doing the cute little tap dancey, like
yeah,
she's
and like
helping
teaching
with
the
that
other
stuff.
girls
Yeah,
like,
it's
what
adorable.
the tap dance is. Mamamoo does so one cool thing. I'm going to bring this up before I start talking about Hoshi. One thing that makes me love K-pop so much, because I do love choreography, is that if a song or a music video is really big or popular nowadays, K-pop groups will release dance versions or dance practice videos of that song. So
yeah, I was going to bring that up because those are sometimes rewards, fan rewards for streaming. I know that's definitely how SM does it. That like once a music video goes out, when the regular music video hits 10 million, you'll get your dance version or your dance practice.
Yeah, and it can come in one of two ways. It's either a dance version of the music video, so like they're still on the set of the music video and they're in the costumes, but instead of like cutting between like whatever acting out the song, they just just stay in that room and do the whole dance so that you can see the full dance.
Right.
And then they also sometimes release dance practice videos where it's like a still camera, sometimes, usually a still camera.
This is something that's evolved, because I'm pretty, like, the way that I believe that this used to work is that these dance practices were literally just like filmed in the studio to be taken upstairs to some kind of executive to be like, are you good with this being the choreography? And then, like, as a reward to fans, they were releasing those as like, ooh, a behind the scenes, like, look at them practicing the dance. But now that that's sort of become a thing, now people are like filming purposefully nice dance practices where like maybe they're all wearing the same outfit, or they've like lit the studio nicer. Like, there's more production value in them these days. They used to just be awful camcorder on the floor.
Yeah, and you can see like the older versions, like one of my favorites, but is a terrible quality video, is like Shiny's Lucifer. And that was definitely something that like a manager filmed on their phone and then took it upstairs. But then there's something like EXO's Monster or whatever. Where,
lights in the studio.
Yeah, they like lit it up really crazy, and they're wearing like specific, or like even we just mentioned Wacky Mecky's I Don't Like Your Girlfriend. Like, they're wearing essentially
Black.
costumes.
They're all wearing black so that it like looks.
And then other times they do ones that are way more casual. Like, the reason I brought this up is because Mamamoo, they have sort of like a comedic like image. That's their concept, is that they're sort of goofy. And so they do really funny dance practice videos that sort of include on either end of the dance sort of like uncut footage of them like just in the studio. And sometimes it's them messing around, but sometimes there's one like for their more recent song Starry Night. The dance practice video includes at the very beginning them figuring out is it Starry Night or is it anyway, there's a couple of music dance practice videos where they include the members choreographing it, like deciding what the move is going to be.
Yeah. And another, like, these dance practice videos are interesting, and they're my favorite because music show filming is often very bad, and they'll pick the wrong time to put like a close up on someone, and you'll like miss the best move. So I love a dance practice video. But like another thing that's like become popular lately is like, oh, we put out the dance practice and the music video got another 10 million views. So here's a dance practice where we're all wearing animal pajamas. Here's a dance practice where we all switched places and we're trying to do each other's parts. Like, they've gotten very fun.
Yeah, they do. They do have fun with it now.
But sometimes they get really locked up. Like I mentioned last week, that my conversion to being a GOT7 stan, they have an album out right now, and their dance practice got locked up on V Live, and you needed a code from the album to watch it.
Oh, boo!
So, yeah,
boo.
Okay.
But they do release a lot of their dance practices.
They do.
They do have a lot.
And most of the time when things get locked up on VLive, people
pull them somehow.
Bootlegs are the backbone of international fandom. Okay, so let's hear about Hoshi. I want to hear about Hoshi now.
Okay, I have to confess that I think I'm teetering on the edge of standing 17.
All right.
I haven't learned all their names yet. I know a lot of their faces. There are 13 of them, and they're very young. So this is why I'm still on the edge.
Well, I support you in whatever you want to do, but
I really like their music.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to get into them because they're so young. I definitely don't like crush on any of them because they are children. But I really like their songs, and their dancing is incredible.
Yeah.
And also, I'm worried that they're having a really hard time. Mentioned their
I know
company.
you keep learning about them, and like
I know my all my research here like turns me towards 17. Maybe I can't deny them anymore. I should just learn all their names. I'll have to make flashcards.
Yeah.
There's so many. Okay, so I mentioned them and their company when we talked about companies because their company is perhaps, as I said in that episode, embroiled in scandal and abuse. Fans have been complaining that these boys have been mistreated, and here is an example.
Oh, boy.
So the way that 17 works, because there's 13 of them, they have certain, like we talked about in I don't know, maybe like the group breakdown, anatomy of a group episode, how like EXO has lines, right? Like this are the rap line, this is the vocal line, this is the dance line. 17 is kind of like that. So they have what they call the performance line is 4 members. The leader of the performance line or performance team is Hoshi. It also includes members June, Dino, and a member named The Eight.
I know, the 8.
The Eight.
Scoops.
The Eight. Scoops. Scoops. Oh, God.
The 8.
This is going to be fun learning their names.
I know, right?
So anyway, these 4 members are part of the performance team, and they work with choreographers, but they also choreograph a lot themselves. There's a really crazy video that I watched of like Hoshi in the process of choreographing this, and one of the members like steals his notebook and shows it to the camera because it looks like an alien language. Like it's such a crazy diagram. And he's like, this is something only Hoshi understands. And he gets like embarrassed and is like, oh, give it back. But like the way he like draws it out on the whiteboard, and like I said, the formations in 17 are really crazy. And
Yeah,
part
would
of
you have to do it like football, like, you know,
yes,
like
that's what it looks
circles for
like.
every
Circles
person
and
or whatever?
X's and lines and arrows, and like it's so crazy the way that he does it. And he, as I discovered in my research, is actually responsible for some of the cooler formations that they do. Hoshi has even choreographed for other groups. Like he choreographed the song "I'm Bad" for Newest, and he also choreographed a song called 28.5, which was by a solo artist named Ki Bum Zoo, that I wasn't familiar with, but the song seems very popular. But anyway, so Hoshi's responsible for choreographing a lot that 17 does, and they recently have been embroiled in scandal because 17 has also worked with a choreographer named Choi Young-jun, and he has had a couple of different issues. One of them, like I said, when I brought up earlier, the fans demanded that Choi Young-ju apologize because
for like reusing choreography.
So it was too similar to the Twice. And then seeing the screen grabs, I kind of agree because some of the choreography for I don't remember the Twice song, but the 17 song was called Adore You, which I mentioned earlier. And they have a lot of really cool formations in it. And they're so specific. Like when I first watched the video, I was like, oh, I've never seen a group do that before. And then you see that same formation in the Twice one, which not only is that like shady because obviously it's repetitive, but also because Hoshi helped choreograph Adore You, and had like a leading hand in the formations themselves. And then Choi Young-jun like kind of ripped them off and used them again for Twice, which had nothing to do with Hoshi, obviously. But so recently, Hoshi and Choi Young-ju worked together to choreograph Adore You, Pretty You, and Very Nice, 3 different 17 songs. And Hoshi has not gotten credit for the choreography that he did on those 3 songs. In fact, the company even canceled the choreographed copyrights that were registered in Hoshi's name. So they originally did give him credit and therefore giving him royalties for those songs and the choreography of those songs. And recently, as of like this past year, 2017, the company has canceled the copyrights under Hoshi's name.
Oh, no.
And canceled like 3 copyrights under other performance team members' names. So these boys are now no longer getting paid for the work that they did in choreographing these songs. And a fan like emailed the company directly to try and get an answer and explanation as to why, and of course like didn't really get very far. So there's no legitimate explanation for why they initially gave and then took back these copyrights. But so that has been
greedy bastards.
Yeah, exactly. That's really it. I mean, that's why.
Yeah. There's no other answer to that other than like they were tired of sharing. Boo. Boo. I hate that.
It makes me sad because I'm falling for 17. I like want to take care of them, and I just want to like take them under my wing and feed them, and give them the credit that they deserve because they're clearly working really hard.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, 17.
I know, poor little babies. But I think I'm becoming a carrot.
Oh, congratulations.
I can't call myself that yet until I learn all their names.
There.
But I believe we also mentioned Hoshi when we were talking about fan chants because he's the one that
he's
created
the one who did
the highlight fan chant that includes all 13 of their names.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's sad, but we gotta find no, it's okay. We gotta find like a positive way to end this. So I guess I just want to like talk some more about like dances that you love. Like, so here's a question. Is there like a dance move or a song of the like dances that we have been fortunate enough to learn that like is your favorite?
A particular dance move?
or a whole dance. Like for example, like a move that I'm grateful to have learned is that foot thing from I Love It, the side,
yeah.
because it's now come in handy. It's like one of those fancy like heel toe
steps.
things that like make it look like you're just kind of floating in the air,
kind of like a moonwalky thing.
And it took me a long time to get it, but I'm really glad I could do it now, and it's fun. So like that's something that I really enjoy. I always love learning Hyuna dances because I feel like they work for me first. Like that's what I'm good at.
Yeah, I really enjoyed learning Just Dance, the Mix 9 song, because that was a difficult dance, but I felt like that because it was a dance that was originally for one of those competition variety shows. It included a lot of like basic moves.
It was like an audition dance where it had all these elements like hip hop and ballet and jumping and all these things that you should be able to do.
Yeah, and even like meme dances, like
it
included
the little
little backpack kid dance in it or whatever. So it was like it kind of covered all the necessities of like if you want to dance K-pop, like you should learn this song. Because you were mentioning GOT7, Jackson. So GOT7 is JYP, I think we've said before, but Jackson, one of the members of GOT7, has said before that like when he was a trainee or when you're training at JYP, you essentially learn the alphabet of choreography. Like you learn a set of moves, and like once you know these moves, the choreography and the dances themselves are just different combinations of these moves. So like when you're in training, you learn the alphabet, and then after you've debuted, you learn like the different sentences or whatever that they put together for the actual songs.
Yeah, and you definitely find once you get into learning K-pop choreography, which is a huge thing. It's like a huge part of fandom. It's all over the internet. People like us like have their own little dance teams, or they make videos teaching other people how to do stuff. Or a big thing at K-pop conventions will be to do these random play dances where they clear the middle of the floor and just start playing a song, and you run out if you know how to do it.
Yeah, or they'll do like fan challenges, like when you're waiting outside of a concert, like to get in, someone will go around and like videotape people doing dance covers. So a bunch of people like learning the dance to your favorite song is a big part of being a K-pop fan.
I think so.
Sure.
Like, yeah, it's fun and it's like difficult, but you find the more that you learn, that there are like definitely staples, like moves that like are always going to come back. And yeah, it's just really fun. So I say go learn a K-pop dance, even if it's just
even if you just
look
learn
up the shy.
Yeah, you
whatever.
could just learn one of those silly dance crazes, or like Shannon and I taught ourselves just the chorus of some of our favorite songs. Like we don't know all of you, but we know the chorus.
Yeah.
So it's fun to be able to like. I mean, not only is it fun to like just try and teach yourself, it's like a mental challenge, like a little puzzle, but also then like when you hear the song you can dance along.
Yeah, it's fun when you know it. Our teacher always says like this is for karaoke, like then you know it for when you go to karaoke and you can dance the whole thing.
Except I won't. I'll forget it. You'll remember. I'll forget.
I do. They are.
You have
all
like a
locked
steel
in.
trap. I'm so jealous. I don't do it for like a day and I forget what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. There's that would probably be the dance I'd say I'm like most grateful to know is G-Friend's Rough. G-Friend is kind of like known in the K-pop industry for being the girl group that has the like most complicated, most like difficult dances. Like they dance like boys in that like there's so much going on and it's like very intricate. And we know this one song of theirs called Rough, and I will never forget it as long as I live.
I've forgotten a lot of it, I guarantee.
I could do the whole thing right now.
Do it. The listeners would love it. There she goes. I do want to clarify your comment that they dance like boys.
I guess
in the sense that they dance like boys because the boys tend to dance a little bit more difficultly, I guess. Like some of the boy choreography is a little bit more intricate. The G-Friend choreography is very feminine and delicate and incorporates almost like ballet-esque style, but in the sense that it is very high-level, complicated choreography, I think Is that what you
Yeah,
meant? by
no,
dance
sorry.
like
I was
boys?
like putting myself in the exact same controversy that Kai started by talking about this very thing, and I feel guilty. Like, that's not what I meant. And it's not that other girl groups don't work hard or do things that are difficult. I guess there's just something about G-Friend choreography that is like a step above what most people are doing, and it's really complicated, and they're good at it.
Because sometimes as you'll find when you like watch K-pop choreography, sometimes the moves that they do, like we mentioned with Psy, for example, like sometimes the moves you don't necessarily have to be a dancer in order to be able to learn those moves. But something like G-Friend, you have to be a dance. Like you need to have a significant dance foundation and background in order to do those moves well.
Yeah.
I think.
I think that's what I was. That's what I was getting at, but I didn't mean to sound like
Which
a
I'd
sexist
also
dick.
like to just clarify is what Kai meant when he.
That's what he
started
meant,
that. Like
too.
he meant he is a professional dancer, so choreography is not difficult for him. But it was like misinterpreted.
But everybody it was misinterpreted that he was saying G-Friend choreography isn't difficult because they're girls.
But
and
his
then
point was,
that wasn't
well,
his point.
no choreography is difficult for me. I'm amazing.
Because I'm Kai.
Which I stand by. I'll defend my Nini Bear to the ends of this earth. So back off.
And that's a perfect
Feel my wrath.
That's a perfect note to go out on. So that's a little intro, as best as we could talk about choreography in an audio medium. So I hope that it wasn't too weird. But we'll be right back with our random game.
But I want to watch the Chen one. Where?
Ah, we're back. Do you remember that Jimmy Fallon character that like did that?
Yeah, I do.
I brought that up to my husband like this weekend. Like, remember? And we're back. And
He was like really
"No."
nasal.
Yeah, and he was like a weird
Yeah.
DJ. Okay, anyway, the point is we are back. And the group that we got this week is a group that's come up for scandalous reasons before, and that is Dynamic Duo.
Yeah, technically a rap group,
Yeah.
Korean hip hop. 2 members, as the name implies, Cheja and Gecko, which literally translates to dog's snout.
Cute. So a little history. They originally debuted in 1999 in a trio with another childhood friend.
Oh yes, they have been childhood friends.
They've been
since
friends
childhood.
forever.
Adorable.
So there were 3 of them, and they were called CB Mass. And then in 2003, the group broke up upon discovering that this third member had been stealing from them.
Dun dun dun.
So uncool.
Which I think is a good point to mention at this point in time. They, like Shannon just said, they debuted in 1999. These two men are in their late 30s now.
Yes.
So they're a slightly older group than what we've been
Than we
talking about.
usually get. Yeah. So they have been Dynamic Duo since 2003. They've released 8 albums. And they are both
One of which went to number 1.
and they are both constantly, at least Gecko for sure, are often featured on other people's.
Yes, I've mentioned an artist named Zion T, who's one of my favorites, more like hip hop and R&B than he is K-pop. But Gecko has been featured on a couple of his songs. My personal favorite is called Baby, Babay. I know that they also have done songs with Crush, and they have had a lot of artists like Chen from EXO has been featured on some of Dynamic Duo songs. So they collaborate with a lot of different people.
Definitely. So I honestly can't say. I know that I like have a couple of songs where like Gecko is featured, but I don't think I've ever heard a Dynamic Duo song before.
I totally agree. I have I know I have No Makeup, which is a Zion T Gecko song. I know I have Bebe. I know I have I don't have the Chen song, but I definitely know his featured stuff and not specifically Dynamic Duos.
So it took us a minute to try to find the most viewed video because these guys are collaborating so often, like to find the only like pure Dynamic Duo video. So the one we're going to watch is from 2 years ago, and it is called Jam. And let's see what it's about.
Yeah. This is really cute so far.
발라먹는 거 뭐야?
그 꿀잼이야 꿀잼.
그걸 어떻게 만드는 건데?
꿀은 벌들이.
Okay, so they're like
벌들이?
son and
왜 만드는
father.
거야?
At a little yellow table, and he's asking him about the jam and like
설명시켜 들어봐 알겠지? 벌들이
Honey
왜
Jam.
만드냐면
Ooh, the label is singing. I love this so far.
Honey Jam, here I am.
Oh, this is a soup. Okay, now they're dressed as a bee and a flower.
No, there's
Well,
a
that's
different
not the
guy as a flower,
Yeah.
but
One of them is dressed
Gecko
as
is a bee now.
And there's a lady bee in his dreams.
다니지 아무도 관심 없는 우리 둘만의 인연 공간 적당히 취한 너는 복도 위에서 triple accel.
I feel like rap videos tend to be funnier than other videos.
Probably
like-
because they're not going to dance. Is what I
right, so
would
they need
guess.
to fill the time.
So Cheja just came out as like a red carpet bee. That was
Threw
like
money at
making
all
it
of
rain.
them.
Gecko's crying. Oh my god, are they bees for this whole video?
I hope so.
They're wearing the most ridiculous bee costumes that have these like really big buttons on them. They're clearly just like in front of a green screen because the background's all animated. Oh my god, this is so cute.
Their whole crew is dressed like various.
I love it. He's like a gangster bee or like a millionaire bee. Pretending the honey is cocaine.
얼굴을 내 가슴에 내 손가락 네 귀 뒤로 날아가 널 봐중에 blues time 친구 연인 그 중간 선을 스무스하게
That is definitely a trend in the hip hop, K-pop, Korean hip hop scene. I think is that like rather than be super hard, they make these like goofy videos, which I think is a weird and like funny twist.
Yeah. I don't know, but I imagine that the lyrics are probably like clever and funny as well. Oh, there's
There
a
she
really
is, the
pretty
lady
girl
bee.
in a bee outfit.
Oh damn, honey damn, here I am. All the drama.
Oh, so it's poor bee versus rich bee for the lady bees. No. Ugh, a hat with
Hats
braids
with fake
attached.
braids on them make us really angry.
Okay, but all of these hair is pretty
see, now
incredible.
these are like tree dragons. They're like making fun of other people now.
That's so
They're like
cute.
being all of Big Bang. That's what that was.
I
that
love
was like
that.
Yeah. I really like this song.
I like this song too. No, the poor bee is getting beaten up by a honeycomb.
And the rich bee is flying away with the girl.
This is a jam. I like. Hey,
It is a jam.
jam is a jam. You heard it here first.
야 알겠지? 벌들이 이렇게 힘들게 꼴을 모으는 거야. 그러니까는 남기지 말고 다 먹어. 음식 갖고 장난치지 말고 시키야.
아, 너나 먹어. 이
Oh, that's so precious. So it's like all framed as a father telling a son the story of where the jam came from. That's
And
so
he cursed
cute.
at him. I love it.
You just started it over. Well, that was fun. I liked
was
it. That was
fun.
good.
I feel a little like changed because like and I feel like I learned a lesson in like judgments because literally all I knew about Cheja was people being like he is Sully's evil old boyfriend and like I think I just had a bad view of him because of it and like maybe I thought their music was bad but it was good.
It was good. I liked it. And I am a fan of all of the songs they've been featured on. So maybe I should have done some homework and like looked into them earlier. But I really enjoyed that one. This is a second week in a row where we liked, this is making up for the Between disaster.
Yeah.
Of several weeks ago. Because this one and whatever we listened to last week was good too.
I really do. I love this game and I love this podcast and how much it has like started to broaden my K-pop horizons. And I hope that-
K-pop.
I love K-pop and I hope you love K-pop and I hope that y'all have been like making some discoveries of your own because of this. It's super fun.
Yeah, it is really fun now that I've like, I mean, I catch myself like an hour into reading like my 5th Wikipedia page or like my 5th like inner click. You know what I mean? Like you click on one,
you go
leads you into
level
another
down.
and another and another. Yeah, like once you reach that like 5th level and I look up and I'm like, oh, I've been reading about K-pop for like, I know absurd details about EXO that I never needed to know, but I guess I needed to know.
We all need to know. That's what this K-pop podcast is for.
I'm going to end this K-pop. I'm going to come out the other side of this K-pop being I'm going to come out the other side of this podcast being an EXO encyclopedia.
That's great.
EXOpedia.
Perfect. Then you can, if you ever decide to like go back to school one more time, you can
A third time.
Then you can like become a
scholar
doctor,
on
a
EXO?
scholar,
An archivist.
a K-pop
I could be
scholar,
that-
an archivist.
that lady.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What
That would
a
be fun,
dream
right?
job.
Okay.
Dedicate my life to that.
I would too. Let's
Hire me, SM.
Let's
I'll be your
work that.
archivist.
Let's vision board that.
And also I'll teach correct pronunciation to your idols.
Or not, because it's purposeful.
No,
No.
I refuse.
All right. Time for weekly recommendations. My recommendation for this week actually already got mentioned in the episode, and I held my tongue and I didn't say anything. But my recommendation is the dance practice for Shiny's Lucifer, because it is like kind of famous in that Taemin is wearing a black and white striped shirt that, again, because this is like poor quality video that was just uploaded as a fan extra, the stripes on his shirt like mess the camera up a bunch and like make a weird
optical illusion
that's kind of distracting. But the other thing about it that's fun is, well, obviously it's one of Shiny's greatest dances. It's super cool. But also to prove that this was just like, this video was not taken to ever be seen. The version of the song that they are dancing to in that video has different lyrics and different like chorus part than the final song.
So it was
ended
like
up
a
having.
workshop version.
Yeah.
almost.
So it's like kind of cool in that way.
The dance is the same. That didn't change.
Right.
But like some of
But the song
actual
that's
lyrics,
playing is
yeah.
weird, and like the lyrics have changed, and there's like little differences.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendation. And any dance practice video, like that's a real fun YouTube hole if you just type in K-pop dance practice and just start watching them, because they really are
Hands
so fun.
down, one of my favorite things about K-pop is the dance practice videos, and that is actually going to be one of my recommendation as well.
Love it.
And I'm so glad that you did the old school version, because I'm going to recommend a song that I also already mentioned, because like I said, I'm teetering on that 17 edge. So I'm going to recommend the dance practice version of 17's Adore You. And the YouTube video includes fixed cam version in the title. So I don't know if there's multiple versions. The one thing that really breaks my heart about this is that they include the timestamp. So like we mentioned earlier that, like these idols, when they're training, of course, they spend all day dancing, but when they're preparing for a comeback, they, of course, spend, again, all day dancing. And this one, in a fun way, like includes sort of like uncut, like almost like a blooper reel before they do like the full song at the beginning and at the end. And at the beginning of the video, the sort of like uncut version is time-stamped 1:15 a.m. And at the end, they show you like a couple different things that they do, and then they do the full song from start to finish. And after the song, they do a little bit more, like they show you sort of the different versions that they did where they were like having fun with it, and they sort of like get goofy. Like one of the members whose name I know, his name is Vernon. In the video, he's the one that his hat falls off. He does like really goofy things at the end, probably because they're getting delirious, because the timestamp at the end of the video is 2:30 a.m.
Oh, man.
And then they finish and they do it, and they do their whole song, and they like finish cleanly and they end it, and then they all run to the front of toward the camera and sit on the floor, because in a line waiting for them on the floor are sandwiches and Cokes.
Aww.
So they like had to do it one more time, and then you can eat. And like hopefully that was done in fun and not in like,
that's how they feed them.
yeah, not in like stick carrot kind of thing. But But the dance is amazing. And to focus on why I brought it up, like the choreography is so good. It is one that Hoshi choreographed himself. It is also one that he lost the copyright for. But it has some of the coolest formations that I've ever seen in a K-pop. Like I said, there's 13 members. They have to get creative in how they feature everyone, and they do it incredibly well. It's super cute and fun.
Cool. Yeah, I pulled it up just to see, and just so you know, there's a fixed cam version, which seems like you would be able to see everything. A follow me version where they're like getting in close and moving around. And they also have a part switch version that they do on a beach. Those are always funny.
So I recommend the fixed cam version because I'm recommending it for its choreography purposes.
Great. On that note, also a reminder that we are still gathering funds for our first fan project as a podcast. If you didn't listen all the way to the end last week, shame on you. But also, just so you know, we'll be attending a K-pop festival at the end of the month, which
At the end of April.
at the end of
28th.
April, yes, April 2018, depending on when you're listening to this. And Red Velvet, EXID, BTOB, NCT, and Rain will all be at this festival. So we are buying glow sticks in those fan colors and passing them out for free to spread the love. So if you want to participate in spreading some K-pop love and want to send us a buck or two, gofundme.com/AMAK fan project. $1 gets 3 glow sticks, and I've already got 100, but we can do so many more. This
We could
place
get
holds
every person.
17,000 people,
We could
which I
get
don't know if we could do
17,000 glow
that,
sticks.
but I don't know. Maybe somebody listening to this is like an oil
millionaire?
baron and they want to give us enough to get 17,000. So we'll see,
That'd be cool.
but it'll be fun. So if y'all want to participate in that, that would be great. And that concert should be really fun. So make sure you follow us on social media because I am sure that I will Instagram live a significant portion of it.
for sure.
So at AMA Kpop Pod on Twitter and Instagram, amakpoppod.tumblr.com for all of our links for every episode. And if you want to send us an email, we love getting emails, amakpoppod@gmail.com.
And I will say, because you didn't say the name of the festival, it's the Korea Times Music Festival.
Yes.
So if you're in, I don't know if at the time that this podcast is published, if tickets will still be on sale, but
I feel like
maybe.
they stay on sale right till the end.
It's at the Hollywood Bowl in LA, so it's going to be April 28th, and the Hollywood Bowl is fun. If you've never been, you get to bring like a picnic. You can bring your own booze and food, and
The
just
tickets
sort
are
of
pretty reasonable too. Like we're obviously not being sponsored by this, so I'm not trying to be a shill, but like, you know, the tickets range from like $200 for the super fancy up close, and then the ones up in the grass are like $20, if not less than that.
And it's super fun, and it's like a full day thing, but it's like a comfy place to chill for like an afternoon and listen to K-pop.
Yeah, it should be really fun. So, yeah, that's it for this week. I don't have a teaser for next week. I don't know what we'll be talking about. I need to think about that
We'll
still.
figure it out.
I want to say that it's time to do our biases episode. I've just been putting it off because I need real time to sit with my feelings so that I can describe them properly. But I think I'm getting close.
Well, whenever we do that bias episode, I will 100% be wearing this shirt again.
Great.
Because all my biases are on it.
It's such a good shirt. We'll definitely post a picture for y'all to see it. But anyway, we'll be back next Wednesday as always. And thanks you guys so much for listening. We appreciate it. And
Bye.
bye. 정윤아, you're our inspiration.
We love you.
생일 축하해요.